Ever wondered if someone might be gay or not? Or if you spotted a hot guy in the grocery store and wondered if it's safe to make a move? Or maybe you've been curious about someone at work and want to get closer without being awkward. Today, we'll explore 5 simple tips to help you figure it out. We're not just guessing here. These are real tips to help you spot the signs and understand what they mean. So, if you want to improve your gaydar, stick around. You're about to discover all the secrets. You might be surprised to know that there are quite a lot of scientific studies that try to determine if having a gaydar is a myth or a real thing. Some studies actually found that people can guess sexual orientation better than chance when they look at facial cues and when they look at body language or when they listen to someone's voice. These studies were met with raging criticism. Is it gaydar, or is it just about people identifying stereotypes like being feminine or dressing fashionably? AI has gotten involved too. It was able to sort through photos of guys' faces and identify their sexual orientation with up to an amazing 81% accuracy. But the critics again argue that the AI just picked up on things like grooming, and it doesn't actually identify anything in the person's facial structure. They were also concerned about things like privacy and how this kind of tech could be misused. So, with AI not helping us much when we're trying to identify if that guy's a potential, stereotypes are also not a good guide. Just because a guy is well-groomed or has some stereotypical mannerism, it doesn't automatically mean he's gay. Have you ever had that moment where you're like, oh, this guy is so well-groomed, he must be gay? But the truth is, you can definitely get it wrong. Plenty of straight men are well-dressed or looking artsy or speak in ways that might come across as stereotypically gay. And let's be real, if someone fits all the typical gay stereotypes, you don't need a YouTube video to figure that out. We'll be talking about completely different things here, especially since jumping to conclusions because of stereotypes can lead you to some pretty awkward situations. That's why in this video, we're going to focus more on subtle methods and tools to help you read between the lines and avoid those missteps. The first tool is the direct gaze, which is different from what's called the broken gaze, which we'll talk about in a bit. With direct gaze, you can both test out if someone is gay and also gently signal your interest. It's a tool that can help you pick up on someone's orientation even if they don't give out other good clues, or it can be just that extra help you need to confirm it. For example, if you don't want to rely on stereotypes alone, which we've already seen is very tricky. So, how can you use direct gaze? When you see a guy you're interested in, what you'd want to do is catch his eye contact and hold it with him just a little longer than usual. The key is not to overdo it. You want to hold their gaze long enough to let them know you're paying attention, but without making it uncomfortable. If they return the gaze for an extra beat, that's good progress. But to double check, it's good to pair the gaze with body language signals like a small smile or a little nod. It helps make the stare look less intense and awkward and also signals that you're interested. It's all about creating that brief moment of connection where both of you know there's something more going on beneath the surface. You'd want to really be sensitive to how they react, and you can tell through their eyes. If they seem puzzled or uncomfortable, chances are they're either not gay or just not interested, and it's best to respectfully move on. Now, the broken gaze is my favorite tool. Like the direct gaze, the broken gaze helps you identify or confirm if someone might be gay when other clues aren't clear or when you want to have more confirmation. I like this one better than the direct gaze because it's less intense, less awkward, and I found it to be more accurate. So, how do you use the broken gaze? The idea is you look at someone, glance away for a second, and then look back. Keep it casual, don't stare for too long, and when you look back, make sure you keep the rest of your body language relaxed and open. It also helps to add in a gesture like a small nod or a quick head tilt or a little smile, really small, don't overdo it, or even a small wave if the moment feels right. Now, let's spice things up with the basket glance tool. Just a quick glance at the guy's basket. Yeah, the lower region. Straight guys might mistake this for a wardrobe malfunction, but when you know what's up, It could be a playful way of showing interest. If that glance is followed by a gaze and a small smile, it can be a great sign of attraction. And just like with the other Gaydar tools, it's all about reading the room and respecting the guy's response. And speaking of reading the room, the next tool is all about observation. If a guy you're interested in walks into the room, watch his body language carefully. This is a safe way to Gaydar him before deciding if you want to make a move or use any of the other tools here. Pay close attention and watch how he reacts to other men around him. See if he seems more alert to other guys around, if he's checking out another guy, or even if he's using a direct gaze or broken gaze with someone else, not to mention a basket glance. Now, let's talk about how a simple conversation can be a real game changer. Because eye contact and body language might give you some clues, but nothing beats actually talking to the guy. As you chat, you can drop a few cues and definitely listen for any hints that he gives. Pay attention to what he talks about. Does he mention a partner without saying whether it's a man or a woman? Does he avoid talking about a wife or a girlfriend? This could actually be the quickest way to clear things up. If you could bring the conversation to activities that partners typically do together, that's where you get him. This gives him a chance to casually mention my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, or my wife. And if he avoids those words or hesitates when he talks about couple stuff, you're probably onto something. Also, notice if he stays away from typical straight guy talk about women. It's all about listening closely and engaging naturally so you can get a feel for how he talks about relationships and attraction. And at the end of the day, it's all about reading the room and keeping it playful and remembering that actual connection is way more interesting than just guessing someone's orientation. For more exclusive content on gay, dating, and relationships, subscribe to my newsletter. It's free, and the link is in the video description.